by the power of Grayskull.
Hey everybody, it's a Review Revolution, back at you again, and yeah, it's that time, this past 15th, MattyCollector.com actually only had, believe it or not, two figures for sale, two. One was the re-release of Zodak, which I already had mine, so I didn't worry about that, and the Club Eternia figure for this month, Roboto. Very cool. I think it's kind of funny that on the He-Man.org website, they put this posting up there saying, "Didn't we lick that white screen of death problem? Isn't that great?" Dips. You have two figures for a change. One is an Club Eternia figure that some people are going to get anyway, and the other is a re-release. Yeah, you really whipped that white screen problem there, guys. Yeah, keep it going. But yeah, Roboto, he is the Club Eternia figure for this month. Comes in the usual white mailer box, except for, on the bottom, it actually says Grayskull. Why? I don't know. Maybe just to get everybody in the mood for his re-release. Couldn't say. But there is Roboto in pack. Very impressive looking Roboto too. I got to say, I've got the original that I'll bring in to show here when we get him out of the pack. But he looks really cool so far. I really like him. There's been some controversy stirred up because of a preview video that was done on YouTube that I won't talk a whole lot about till we get him open. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and touch on the packaging as usual. We've got the really great backdrop to the Masters Universe kind of Eternian sky with lightning, Castle Grayskull brickwork, Roboto, heroic mechanical warrior, the lightning, the dimple, the Masters Universe logo, all very cool. Air holes. On the back, as usual, just other figures that are already out. Battle Armor He-Man, Teela, Roboto now, Man-at-Arms, Stratos, and Orko, surprisingly enough. If they're not going to be re-releasing them, I don't know. These Club Eternia, or these SDC exclusive figures, I don't know how keen I am about them being on the packages. It would really be cool if they showed you the blue merman that's going to come out in the 2-pack with Stratos, or you know, something like that, or Merman that's going to come with Aquaman, or the blue Stratos that's going to come with Hawkman. Let me get my 2-pack straight. But that would be cool. Just show us something new that's coming up. On the bio, got a really great portrait of Roboto here, but this bio is completely wrong. I mean, it is totally wrong. Pause as necessary and feel free to read it. But you know what? Because I can't even bring myself to read this bio. This is that bad. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a moment, and I'm going to let you know the true origin of Roboto. I'm going to give you a treat. We're going to go ahead and go over the true origin of the character, the heroic mechanical robot, Roboto.
Roboto's origin bio was told in the mini-comic that came with the original called Battle for Roboto. This was during the Filmation series run, so by this time the mini-comics had adopted the Prince Adam character and the design that Teela would finally become to be recognized. Together, they entered a mustached Man-at-Arms workshop where he proudly introduces his new invention, Roboto, a fully equipped robot with an array of weapons and indestructibility, not some damn chess program. Adam questions if such a power given to a robot was a good idea, but Man-at-Arms explains that with his heart, Roboto would have the emotions of a human and the compassion to make him a true warrior of Eternia. Please note, the original writers for the series didn't call the heroes the Masters of the Universe, like they were some damn superhero team. That didn't come along until those hack writers of 2002 got a hold of it. Well, of course, Skeletor has his spies everywhere and learns of the new toy Man-at-Arms invented and plans a new scheme that will require the help of his newest flunky, Too Bad, seen showing his inability to play well with others, or even himself for that matter. But say what you will about Too Bad, he has the muscle to help ambush Roboto and allow Skeletor to steal his heart. With the robot in his control, it's back to Grayskull to make his 475th attempt at getting in. Warned in advance by the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms and Teela get to Grayskull first and manage Skeletor to lose the heart of Roboto. He-Man arrives as Two-Bat makes a grab at the heart himself, but is taught 2 heads aren't any better than 1. Man-at-Arms gets the heart, and as He-Man restrains Roboto, returns it, and with it, his emotions. Skeletor, realizing the battle is lost, escapes, and though no harm is done, Roboto makes the decision that to prevent anyone from ever using him as such a weapon again, he must be dismantled. Yet with a spell cast by a very pink sorceress, Roboto is protected from any evil tamperings again, and thus bringing him into the He-Man lore.
Well, there you have it. The original bio for Roboto. As told in the mini-coms, I don't have time to go over or to talk about kind of the Wizard of Oz 10-man in search of a heart comparisons. I like to do more bio videos, actual biographies of characters. Maybe if we ever get back to Roboto, if I ever get back to doing a Roboto bio, talk about that. It's actually pretty interesting. But for now, we've got a figure to open. So let's take a moment, get a look, open him up, and have some fun. All right, everybody, we're back again, and we've got Roboto open. I guess just to kind of get the bad things out of the way now. First off, I guess there's been some controversy surrounding this character, this figure, which I don't get it. It's only over the past 48 hours or so that people have started getting these figures. These are literally just arriving in people's hands. I don't think anybody's got them over the weekend. But for the whole past 2 weeks now, because of some preview figures that got out there, there's been a lot of buzz around Roboto. Probably the biggest one being that supposedly his shoulders are backwards. Now, I'm not an expert on design, but for the most part, they look pretty good to me. I can't really tell why, what indicates that these would be on the wrong way around. And according to the message boards, it was because that the electronic parts didn't line up right. Well, I don't know if it was just on the preview version or if, in fact, I'm just doing it wrong. But looking here where the electronic comes down to the side, off the shoulder, seems to line up pretty well to the top of the arm to me. Looks fine. So, whatever the big fuss is over it, I think he looks great. I think the shoulders look fine. I don't see any reason why we would have to re-release him for that. Because, you have his arms together like so, and they line up just fine on the shoulders. Looks good to me. The other thing is people are asking, can both his hands get switched out? Can we switch out both his hands? Well, considering the original figure didn't have a hand, it was just the 3 weapons, kind of like Trapjaw. The fact that just the one hand is here, and that you can change it out for weapons, that's cool. That's cool as it is. I don't need two-handed or have him kind of with two-handed weapons. That's just it's being a little greedy, guys. I'm sorry. Let's leave it be. Let's be grateful that they were nice. They were good enough to go ahead and sculpt a hand to put on him so that you can have him looking kind of humanoid-ish, or swapping out for one of his 3 weapons. That's cool. The complaint that I have, and there's 2, one is right there on the paint on his shin. On the one side here, looks good, looks great. It all fits in the lines real nice. Here, looks like it was a little out of line, like a little misaligned. So it kind of missed it a little bit. It's not a major thing. You expect that every now and then on a figure, but if I were to point out one thing that's bothering me, that bothers me more than the shoulders or the fact that only one hand changes out. Come on. One of the other things, and I'll get to in a minute, is on his head, and we'll talk about that once we start talking about his articulation, which we'll start doing now. Well, not quite. Actually, he's talking about the sculpting. They've reused the Trapjaw legs, and there's still at least one big character that uses his legs. Many faces use the same style of legs, so there's at least one more figure that'll use these legs. And he's got kind of the Optic shorts, the boxers from Optic, which I almost expect we're going to see used on Manny faces. So from the waist down, You know, we could be looking at the same pieces that are going to be used on Man-E-Faces, and we'll just see a new sculpt from the top up. Speaking of new sculpt, his torso is a new sculpt. Of course, it's not a human body, it's the transparent robotic one. And they didn't opt to go ahead and just put a plastic coat on him, or this plastic body piece on him. After Whiplash, I was almost thinking they might have been tempted to do that, especially with the way it kind of comes over the side here, over the top here. I was almost tempted to think that's what they might be doing. But no, this is an entirely new sculpt for a body. Don't know if they'll ever use it again, but that's cool that they went ahead and made a whole new one for this one figure. The circuitry on the arms, again, very much trapped all parts on the forearm. The gloves are pretty original, and the forearm or the bicep and the shoulder is too. So I'm quite pleased. I think they did a great job on it. Taking a look at the head. Now the head, if I can bring in my well-worn original, the head on the two figures are almost identical. That's almost identical to the vintage version. There's the vintage one right there. Just that his bill, if you will, this piece right here, looks like it's coming out a little bit further and hangs a little lower. Versus this one looks more like a duck. But the colors, the design, almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. Looks terrific. On the original, and actually before we do that, let's talk about the articulation here. We'll save that little treat. The head is on a ball joint, so it goes up and down. Arms come up, out, twist of the shoulder, elbow, and glove, if you will. There is a twist at the waist. Leg does turn, comes out, out again, but at the knee, boot, and foot. So all in all, usual articulation on the Masters of the Universe figure. Oddly enough, for Web Store on his backpack, they couldn't make the rope on a pulley, but for Roboto, if you take a look at the original, you can see that there is a twist. And by twisting it, his gears will move inside, and his little bill opens and closes. And while we're at it, you can even see in there, maybe you can't, but you can see his heart kind of embedded there inside his chest. That's why it's important to get the bio right, guys. It makes more sense that way. Here, same thing. If you twist him, twist at the waist, his gears will actually move. An action feature from a Masters of the Universe figure. How about that? Isn't that cool? His bill doesn't open or close when it does it, though, which is fine with me because actually, when I did open it up, looks like there is a little nick that's on the head. So that was the only other issue I had, is the fact I got to get a little Sharpie marker and kind of paint that in. But I'll probably keep it closed anyway. Very, very cool. Now, as I was saying, his hand does come off, and you can swap it around with his electric axe, his electro axe. Nice blue detailing on it. It is very soft, I'm guessing, so it'll move. It'll peg in and out of his arm easier. But it was packaged well enough so that it wasn't warped, and actually it looks really good. So softer plastic on the weapons, no problem. They don't seem to be warped in any way. The blaster, as seen in the MINICOM, while he was under Skeletor's power. Looks quite cool. And then lastly, his claw. Which I guess, speaking of Trapjaw, it's very in line. Whereas Trapjaw had his claw, gun, and hook, Roboto comes with his claw, gun, and axe. So basically that was the heroic warrior's answer to Trapjaw. And we'll bring him back in one more time. If he'll stand up. There you go. So that's just a look at the Masters of the Universe Classics Roboto. I certainly thank everybody for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.